We have one more, which is my favorite story of all time in this book, about my favorite character of all time, Lionel Rainey. And I'll have to tell you that I only had a little bit of trouble pronouncing Lionel Ed's name. She tried to make it 2 words. In South Alabama, Lionel Ed's 1 word. But she picked up on it fast, and I'll let her tell you the story of Dance Me by the Window.
Dance Me by the Window. It was early September, and the Troy State University Red Wave had just finished 2-a-day practices, the barbarian ritual of practicing twice a day during summer preseason training camp. The team was rounding itself into shape for taking yet another Gulf South Conference football title, or possibly another national championship run. It was a good 2 weeks before the majority of students would arrive at school, and we were looking for some type of female entertainment. Troy, Alabama, in the summer of 1969 was no place to be without the other students, as in girls. One of my running buddies, Lionel Rainey, came up with some reliable information on a place that was supposed to really rock on Saturday nights down in a little town called Brundage, Alabama, just 10 miles south of Troy. Although Lionel's information wasn't always that accurate, especially about joints and women, this place, called Dyke's Club, sounded pretty good. We decided to try it out, running the risk that we might run into a bunch of redneck girls wearing Bermuda-alls, cut-off overalls, didn't deter us one bit. We had been trapped for 2 weeks with a bunch of jocks, and we were ready for anything. The scouting report said that it was a country and western joint with a good band, and there usually were some fairly attractive single women available to dance with. That Saturday night, Jack Smith, Lionel and I headed out for Brundage and the Dykes Club. On the way down, Lionel had a couple of beers, and when the subject changed to women, Lionel began his evil-sounding little giggle. You guys know that between the 3 of us, we have pretty much had every girl that is available at Troy. Spillers, you and Jack have had all the good-looking ones, and I've had all the ugly ones. As we pulled into the parking lot, nothing seemed much different than any other country and western joint I had been in before. The gravel parking lot, the presence of more trucks than cars, the neon beer and whiskey signs, the concrete block structure with the big fold-up wooden windows that folded out and up to get plenty of fresh air to the dancers. All were standard fixtures on warm weather nights, similar to this Saturday night. Of course, there was the 300-pound gorilla taking cover charges, sitting next to the sign that strictly said, "Leave all guns and knives outside." Heck, I went into a joint one time that was so rough its sign said, "If you don't have a gun or knife, please contact the manager, and according to your particular needs, he'll get you one or both." After we made it through security and got inside, the music sounded really good, plus the inside looked surprisingly clean and comfortable. Jack suggested that we split up so we wouldn't look too conspicuous, you know, like a bunch of college students or something stupid like that. We all agreed. Lionel already had a bleached blonde in his sights, and he was off to the races. Jack went one way and I went the other, but not before we obtained a promise from Lionel that he wouldn't run off with some dirty leg and screw us up from getting back to the dorm by bed check time. I told you summer practice were like boot camp. I wandered off through the huge building that comprised a main bar, a country and western band area, and a square dance area. As I walked into the country band section, I spotted a pretty young lady sitting by herself at a table. I approached her and asked her if she would like to dance. She turned around in her chair and looked me over from head to toe. "You ain't from around here, are ya?" she asked. "I kinda am. I go to school up at Troy." She then looked me over again and down the rest of her bourbon and coke. "It don't matter none to me, and I don't care where you're from, 'cause I don't dance like these hicks down here anyway. I dance modern." Well, good then, I said. Let's do some modern dancing. I'm in, big boy. Let's go. For those of you who don't know, who have never experienced asking a country girl to dance in a country and western club, please be aware that they begin dancing when they leave their chair. They dance around and through the tables on the way to the dance floor. This lady was no different. And to make that trip dancing through the tables and chairs, just to find out what dancing modern is like, was worth it. I found out soon enough. As my partner cleared the last table and reached the edge of the dance floor, she jumped for what looked like 10 feet in the air, did a perfect 180-degree body twist, landed on her feet, and started to pump her straight arms wildly up and down, similar to the old Holly Gully dance we did in high school. Not knowing what to do and surely not wanting to embarrass my dance partner, I made a similar jump move and hit the floor, pumping my arms like her and doing some serious modern dancing. After several modern dances, a couple of drinks, some highly intellectual conversations about her favorite soap opera stars and the things that those people do to each other, plus what was going on with the careers of her favorite wrestler, Freddie Blassie, and stock car racer, Fireball Roberts, I was thoroughly informed. I had had about all the fun I could have at one time, so I excused myself, thanked my partner for the modern dance lessons, and went looking for Jack and Lionel. Jack was easy to find, but as usual, Lionel Ed wasn't. According to Jack, last time I saw Lionel Ed, he was loved up on some woman that looked like she was 70 years old, and they were square dancing their asses off. Oh shit, I said. I hope he hasn't left because Lionel Ed can't afford to miss curfew or his ass will be history. As Jack and I combed the square dance room, we found Lionel Ed over in the corner with his new senior citizen friend. Not that Lionel Ed was or wasn't a big fan of older women, but he did once admit to getting a little woozy one night at Birmingham and went home with this lady, only later to wake up on the sofa by himself, staring at a glass of water on the coffee table with a set of false teeth soaking in it. We usually have to drag Lionel Ed kicking and screaming away from situations like this, but this time he popped up and said, "You guys ready to go?" As we were heading for the door, Lionel Ed thanked us for rescuing him. I knew the old girl was a little up in age, but hell, you guys know I've developed a new low coal factor. You know what I always say, go ugly early, save money. He continued, do y'all remember that last square dance? Well, I was dancing with my partner. She gave me a big hug, and then she looked deep into my eyes and said, Lionel Ed, baby, will you please dance me by the window where I can spit? Vintage Lionel Ed.